What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be comparing two firearms that I really enjoy owning, shooting, and even carrying. This, the Glock 26 Gen 3, with a couple upgrades to it, which we'll get into. And this right here, the PSA Dagger, which is a compact, basically a Glock 19 Gen 3 clone. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this video, tell me what you carried today, what kind of holster, and what kind of defensive ammo. Let's get into it. Glock 26 Gen 3 definitely does not come optics ready. Actually, Glock just released their MOS Glock 26 in Gen 5 probably about a month ago, so people have been really excited and happy about that. But this is my main carry, Glock 26. Because it didn't come optics ready, I had to sell the slide and buy a new slide from Remsport, Gen 3, Gen 4 slide. If you are looking to do this, it's only like $130. So I made about $80, $70, $80 back on selling that OEM slide. Kept the OEM barrel and then threw some suppressor height sights on. I bought this as a factory rebuild from Glock, so it was only $400 out the door. Now, it's ran 100% reliable and has been great. As far as parts that I've added to it, Ameriglow suppressor height sights, blacked out in the rear with a white tritium front. I threw the Sealy Wolf X Pro on it. It's probably my favorite optic out there. Henning Group +3 base plate. And this thing is just a great everyday carry option. Has everything you can want on it in one very small, reliable package. Now, what this doesn't have that Palmetto State offers is the Palmetto State daggers you can literally get in any configuration. They come optics ready. You can get them with a threaded barrel. You can get them with night sights. You can get them with suppressor height sights. You can get them with the sights in front of the optic. You can literally get Cerakoted, vents, windows cut into the slide. You can literally get any design. Now, this is a plain Jane model right here. This was about $275. Like I said, Glock 19 size, but it has a Glock 17 mag in it. 13 plus 1 on the right, 17 plus 1 on the left. Same with all that. And what I like about the daggers is they give you all those options. So you can get it with the threaded barrels, suppressor height sight. You can get it ready to go right out of the box. Where a lot of people would argue a Glock is not ready right out of the box, because you need to change out those sights first and foremost. And if you want to get an optic, you got to send it away to be milled, or do what I do and buy another slide. What's nice about this is, though, it takes all the Glock mags from 10 rounds to 33. So I can throw larger mags in this. I can take this mag right here, and it will run flawlessly in this 26. The 26, like I said, I bought for about $400, but normally you find them for about $500 to $600 for the Gen 3s. Now, I like the finger grooves. They work pretty well for me. I get about 2.5 fingers on the setup right here. So it's very shootable. Still a good fighting package. The Dagger, like I said, I got this for under $300. So you can basically get two of these for the price of one Glock 26. My only thing is I wish PSA came out with a Glock 26 version. They would, trust me, those things would sell like no other. As far as reliability goes, not a single hiccup. The only hiccup came with the mags that it comes with, the P mags, and it was simply because the follower would get stuck down here, so no rounds would make it into the firearm. That is not the firearm's fault. That is those crappy mags. So if you're gonna run a Dagger, switch over to Glock mags right away. I do like the Gen 3 Glock triggers better than this hinge trigger right here. This is a little mushier, has a little bit more over travel than your average Glock trigger. Let's get into it. All firearms are safety checked prior. Ready? This is the Dagger trigger, right? It's clean, but there's a bit of over travel. It's about the same weight as a Glock trigger. Obviously, my Glock 26 is clear as well. And let's get into that trigger. You see that? A lot less over travel, shorter reset. Let's get into the reset of the Dagger. And it's got this hinge design. Whereas the Glock trigger right here has a safety on it, a little dingus safety. So, for instance, if anything catches on the side of the trigger, it's not going off. It has to have that. But you can't really pull the trigger without compressing that safety. Whereas a hinge trigger, like on a lot of Smith & Wessons, if you're too high on the trigger, it's not going to go. So you're going to have to be a little bit lower, and then it'll break. But you should be shooting from the lower spot anyways in most cases. But I haven't had an issue with it. Every single time I go to pull the trigger, it has gone off. Now, as far as quality goes, right away you can tell the Glock has better quality. When you take apart the internals and stuff like that, you can tell the internals are better. But at the same time, the Dagger has good internals. There's nothing wrong with them at all. And like I said, you can swap out parts from this, throw it in here. Swap out parts from this and throw it in there, and they will work. About 80% of the internals for these two firearms. So that is a massive plus. The Dagger is just such a smooth shooter. I'm very impressed by this thing. I've talked about it in other videos. The undercut, just the overall feel of the firearm. If they would put a Glock 26 grip on it or frame on it and made their own version, trust me, that thing would be so ergonomic and on point. It's not even funny. Also, they thought about a lot of things that Glock doesn't think about. You have a bad malfunction. With the 15-round mag, it sits here, so you have that little indent, and you can rip that mag out. With the Glock, you're not going to have that. You're going to be pulling on the side of your mag and not have as much leverage. But with Glocks, you tend to not have, reliability issues, so you tend to not have to do that. So it's not that big of a deal. But for $300, it's a heck of a package. You can get them in all sorts of setups, like I said. And the number one thing a lot of us Glock owners do is we go and we start changing out parts on Glocks, right? As you can see right here, there's a lot that I've changed out on it. So chances are, in order to, if you buy one of their bigger packages, which is about 400, 450, comes threaded barrel, comes with an optic, comes with all the stuff on it. By the time you do that with your Glock, you're going to be in the $700, $800, $900 range. Whereas the Daggers, you can get some optics ready for $500. So it's all your choice. The only thing that I'm concerned about when it comes to the Daggers, which I get that they have no middleman so they can sell them for cheaper, but I still always wonder, how long will these internals last versus a average Glock internals? Are these going to withstand tens of thousands of rounds without having major part breakages and so on? If that's the case, then that's pretty amazing if they don't do that. But I can trust my Glocks. I've shot so many rounds through Glocks that I know that I don't have those issues and probably will never have those issues. Whereas the Dagger, I have over 1,000 rounds with it so far, but not a single issue. But once you start hitting that 4,500 or 5,000 round count, that's when you tend to start seeing part breakages on cheaper firearms. It just is what it is. Even on SIGs with the X triggers and stuff, I know they're having some issues around 3,000, 4,000 rounds. So you never know. But a firearm like this has surprised me. And if they drop a Glock 26 version of this, I will buy it and I will carry it. As long as it's just as reliable as this Dagger is that's in my hands. So, and I have another Dagger build coming to the channel soon. Just finished up getting the slide for it and the barrel and so on. So awesome build coming your guys' way. Great overall firearm. If this is all you have, this is going to be your closest thing to an actual Glock 19. This is going to be your closest clone, your closest replica, and on top of that, it has some benefits over the Glock. The Glock has, 40 years of experience and 40 years of reliability and being able to iron out problems and deal with certain issues, whereas the Dagger is a newer firearm, so it doesn't have that. But at the same time, the Dagger has better ergonomics, better texturing, better sights right out of the box. Just a good overall package. And like I said, it's for half the price. So if you threw another $300 into this thing, you could have it running really well and have a lot of cool things on it. So two great firearms. You can't go wrong with either of them. They're just good, trustworthy, reliable firearms. But like I said, the Dagger is taking me by surprise. Thanks for watching, guys.